If you have an idea for a book but are not sure where to start, this workshop is for you.
Hi, this is Natalia from Alaya Books. In this video series, I will take you through the basics and phases of writing, the first draft, editing, polishing, and preparation for publication. We will also discuss publishing options and, very importantly, marketing. Some writers create a wonderful book, and then the conundrum is how to let the world know it exists. Strategic marketing is essential, and whether your book is self-published or traditionally published, it is up to the author to do the marketing.
Write what you feel like and do not worry about mistakes at the early stages of your manuscript. Remember, all these notes and the first draft of your book are only for you.
Writing can be very cathartic. I say vent. If there's something that you want to write about, do it. You might decide to edit it out later, but there is certainly no harm in writing about it. Also, it's interesting to see how it comes out on the page. You might surprise yourself and see that there is a great story in it.
For me personally, writing is something inherent in my being. For example, when I journal, I take the chance to write about anything that is on my mind. Sometimes really silly thoughts occupy my brain space, so I write about it, and then the thoughts are gone. It's like they go onto the paper and away from my mind.
That might not be necessarily material for a book for publication, but it is writing. Every snippet that you write is one step further, either towards a book you might publish or self-discovery of yourself as an author. Some writers ask, should I write non-fiction or fiction? First of all, what is the difference between the two? Let's do a quick recap. So non-fiction covers true stories and also informational books. Under this umbrella comes autobiography, which is a book that someone writes about their own life. And then a biography, on the other hand, is when someone writes about somebody else's life. And then we have memoir, which is a true story as well, but is usually about certain events in time, not a whole life story. Biographies and autobiographies are normally written about people who are famous, but a great memoir can be written by anyone. If you are considering writing memoir, remember your story is unique and only you have lived your life and experiences. There are many ways to express this and share your own special stories with readers all over the world. Memoirs are usually more emotional. Readers love to laugh, but they also love to cry, and they can feel the emotions that the writer has gone through. Express your special stories on the page in a way that only you can. Also, under non-fiction, there are self-help books, which are written to help the reader solve a problem. And then there are a multitude of other non-fiction titles such as travel, science, mathematics, basically any topic you can think of, anything that's based on fact. Also, what is becoming very popular at the moment is writing a book about a topic you know about related to your profession. And this book gives you credibility in your field. It's a fabulous marketing tool to expand your business, and it'll expand your customer base. It's also a wonderful, potentially passive income stream. Some professionals that write a book about what they know think of this book as a powerful business card. So a usual business card might get lost or thrown away, but a really good book is cherished. And being an author makes you the authority in that subject matter. Fiction, on the other hand, covers all types of books that are created stories. This can be anywhere from science fiction, horror, romance, to children's books. They involve make-believe characters in a situation that is not based on real events. Fiction can interweave the truth, and it can be based on a real setting, but the course of events are not factual. Fiction needs to be written with a good story arc, and in general it is said that more writing craft is needed for fiction than non-fiction. The story should have compelling characters, believable dialogue, all the bells and whistles. So if you're writing about an era or a location, particularly if it's one that you're not familiar with, do a lot of research. So whether you write fiction or non-fiction, it's simply a matter of choice and depends on what you are drawn to do. We all have a certain calling with our writing. For me, I have always felt very attracted to true stories. I enjoy reading memoirs, biographies, so I have naturally been drawn to write those. It is generally thought that fiction is harder to write, but the truth is, to write any book that's really good, it is not an easy task. A writer has to be very patient and they have to be ruthless with editing. Quite often people ask, what if nobody is interested in my writing? And this is a thought that goes through a lot of writers' minds. It's very normal. It's actually a form of imposter syndrome. You don't feel your story is special or worthy, but you have to remember it's just internal talk. And this is the internal talk that will prevent you from writing. You cannot listen to it. It's not real. Your story is worthy, and just trust in the process.
Please be assured that every writer finds their audience. All stories are worthwhile. If you have an urge to write, bring your story forth to the world. Who knows, it might just end up being a story that you share with your closest family or friends, but it might end up being a story that changes the lives of many people.
Always remember too that the writing process and what we learn about ourselves along this journey is sure to change our own lives. Writing is a very enriching process and I highly recommend it. A very important topic when it comes to books is marketing. We write these fantastic books, but we have to make sure it gets out to the world. But your logic might be telling you, hang on, why are we talking about marketing when the book hasn't even been written or published yet? As a writer, we have to have two sides of us to be successful. There is the creative side, the writing, making all the books beautiful, the details, the cover, but we've got to also look at the business side. So keep creative, do the writing, don't think too much. But as your book is starting to take form, you should become aware of who your audience is going to be. Who is that ideal reader that you're going to touch with your work? Think about it from an early stage, and this will help you a lot when it comes to marketing. Marketing is vital and you need to be ahead of the game. If you have had any kind of business coaching, one of the first things they will tell you for marketing is you need to create your ideal customer avatar. So you need to know who your customer is and what your customer wants. It's the same with creating your book, because your book is your product. Without jeopardizing your creative flow during the writing process, you should be aware of your audience from early stages of your book's creation. Early on in the process, you should know who your target audience is and think of ways to reach them. When you have an ideal reader in mind, someone you know will love your book, when you are writing it, write it for them. Keep them at the forefront of your mind. In order to start getting your ideal reader in mind, start by answering these questions. What do they look like? How old are they? Where do they work? How much do they earn? What do they wear? Where do they hang out? What do they do on the weekend? Where do they go on holiday? What other books do they read? How do they want to feel while they are reading your book? How do they want to feel after reading your book? Whether you are writing fiction or non-fiction, usually there is a protagonist in the book, and the protagonist undergoes a transformation from the start of the story to the end of the book. So your book can offer the reader a chance to experience a transformation by living vicariously with the protagonist. Take your reader on that journey and give them what they want.
Once you know who your ideal reader is, how do you reach them? As a start, what social media are you active on? Think about what social media platforms come most naturally to you. Do you like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn? Look for opportunities to connect with your future potential readers through your favourite platforms. Your posts might only reach the people you know at this stage, but if you talk about your book or related topics, create a little bit of a buzz, gradually you will start to get a following.
Also, as soon as you can, start a mailing list. A mailing list is a gem for marketing for any author. The beauty of a mailing list is that you own it. You have the email addresses of your followers. And why they say the mailing list is the best, you can write news alerts, you could write personal messages, but you control the list. There's terrible stories, as always. Somebody was logged out of their Facebook account, or somebody copied their Instagram, and I don't know, all kinds of things happen. But if it's a mailing list, it is yours, and that is your way to communicate with your readers. I suggest to do very occasional updates and gradually build a hype towards your book launch. Every opportunity you have, ask for someone's email address and offer to keep them updated about your forthcoming book. Make your book real before it's finished. This is a little trick and a bit like the law of attraction. Don't hesitate to talk about your book. Generate interest. By talking about it, you never know what doors you might open or what connections might come your way. And as mentioned previously with an email list, even if it's just to open an opportunity to add more people to your mailing list, do it. But most importantly, by talking about your book, it makes the book real in your mind. If you talk about it, there is a much greater chance that you will finish it in a timely manner and publish it successfully. I suggest to create a mock-up of the book cover and write the blurb for the back cover. And pin the cover and the blurb somewhere where you can see it every day. Know from the get-go how many words your book will be. Use your imagination. See the finished book in front of your eyes, feel it in your hands, smell it. Make the book real, and it will be real before you know it. When you refer to this book that you are going to write, call it my book, or better still, use its proper title if you have one. Always refer to the book as if it's already finished. You've got this, and you will get there before you know it. Get your book written. And in the next video, we will be discussing editing and publishing options. Stay tuned.